You didn't click on this by accident. I need you to actually hear that, not just scroll past it like it's another caption. There is a reason this found you today, right now, at this exact second, on this exact day of your life. And not yesterday, not next week. Something out there, some intelligence, some force, some architect bigger than your nervous system can even fully wrap itself around. Built this moment on purpose and placed you directly in front of it. Fate did this for you, not to you, for you. And by the time I'm done talking, you're going to understand exactly why. And you are going to feel it land in your body, because what I'm about to say to you is going to change the way you see literally everything that's been happening to you lately. I want you to think about the last few weeks. Really think about it. Has it felt like the floor keeps shifting under you? Has it felt like things you used to be sure about suddenly don't feel sure anymore? Maybe you have been waking around or waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning for no reason, just lying there staring at the ceiling, heart a little too fast, mind a little too loud. Maybe you have had this weird itchy, restless feeling in your chest, like you are supposed to be doing something, going somewhere, becoming someone, and you don't know what or who. You just know you're not there yet. That's not random. That's not stress. That's not you're just tired. That's not your imagination being dramatic. That is the cosmic architect tapping you on the shoulder. That is the universe itself reaching down through the noise of your everyday life and saying, hey, wake up. I need you to pay attention right now. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. You have been building things your whole life without even realizing you were building them. Every relationship you stayed in a little too long, every habit you picked up to numb something out, every belief somebody else handed you when you are not too young to know any better. You took all of that, and somewhere along the way, without ever consciously choosing it, you wove it into a structure around yourself. And for a long time, it looked beautiful. Yeah, it looked delicate. It looked like it was protecting you. You told yourself, this keeps me safe. This is who I am. This is just how my life is. But I need you to hear me when I say this. A lot of what you've been calling your life is actually just old dust. Is just leftover thread from old version of you that don't exist anymore. It was never magic. It was just familiar. And familiar isn't the same thing as true. And right now, today, this week, this exact stretch of time you are living through, something bigger is moving in. You can feel it, can't you? That pressure in the air, that sense that something is about to break open, one way or another. I'm going to be straight with you. A storm is coming. Not a storm that destroys you, a storm that reveals you. There is a difference, and your nervous system already knows the difference, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. This storm is going to roll in close. The sky is going to go that strange green-gray color. The wind is going to pick up, and everything that was never really yours to begin with. The old fears, the borrowed opinions, the relationships that were quietly draining you, the version of yourself you built just to be liked, just to be safe, just not to rock the boat. All of that thin, see-through stuff is going to get swept away. And that is supposed to happen. That's not a punishment. That's the architect clearing the table so something real can finally be placed on it. Because underneath all of that dust, underneath all of that old, tired material, there is something in you that has been quietly, patiently waiting. A part of yourself you learned to keep quiet a long time ago, because somewhere, at some point, it didn't feel safe to let it be loud. Maybe you were the kid who got told you were too much. Maybe you were the one who learned that being smaller made people more comfortable around you. Maybe you watched what happened to someone else when they spoke up too honestly, and you quietly decided, okay, I'll keep that part to myself tucked away where nobody can touch it. So you did, you did. For years, maybe for most of your life, you got really, really good at being the version of you that doesn't ask for too much, doesn't take up too much space, doesn't want too loudly. But here is what I need you to understand, and I need you to really sit with this one. That quiet part of you was never small. It was never weak. It was never too much. It has been the most powerful thing about you the entire time. Sitting there in the dark, gathering strength, waiting for exactly this moment to be let out. And the fact that this message found you today, of all days, means the waiting is over. The architect doesn't waste time. Nothing about this moment is a coincidence. You are being handed permission right now, in real time, to stop shrinking. Think about a spider building a web for a second. And stay with me. This isn't about anything mystical. It's about how precise and intentional real creation actually looks. Have you ever actually watched one build thread by thread in real time? It's almost unbelievable, exact. Every strand placed with this insane quiet confidence, like the spider already knows exactly what it's catching before it's even finished building. There is no hesitation in it. There is no second guessing. It just builds with total focus, total precision, because it trusts the structure it's making. That is the energy that is available to you right now, today in this exact window of time. Not chaos, not desperation, focused, precise, intentional creation. You are being shown very clearly that you have everything you need on the table in front of you already. The question the architect is putting in front of you isn't, do you have enough? It's, are you paying attention to what you already have? So pay attention. What are you building your whole, your life out of right now? Who are you spending your hours with? What thoughts are you carrying around in your head all day like they are facts, when really they are just old furniture nobody ever asked if you wanted? What habits did you pick up because they are convenient, not because they were actually yours? Some of those tools on your table need to go. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because the architect is showing me very clearly that you are carrying weight you do not need to carry anymore. And some of it has been sitting in shadow quietly, where you haven't even looked at it directly in a long time. And here is the part that's going to hit you the hardest. Sorry for that. Hardest. So brace yourself for it. There has been an illusion running underneath your life. Not a small one, a real one. Something you have been believing, something you have been treating as true, that has shaping the way you feel about your own safety, your own worth, maybe even your own physical body. Some kind of story that says, I'm only safe if I stay small, or I'm only lovable if I don't ask for too much, or if I just keep my head down, the storm will not find me. And I need to tell you straight up, that story was never true. It was just convincing illusion, and truth can wear the exact same face for years. And most people never bother to check which one they are actually looking at. You are being asked to check right now, today. Because what's actually trying to come through you, what's actually trying to take root in your life over these next few weeks is something that's been invisible up until now and is finally becoming visible. Something hidden is surfacing. So some of you, this has already started to show up in the physical world. You've already seen the first piece of it land. For most of you, though, it's just beginning, just barely cracking through the surface. And you might not even fully recognize it yet for what it is. Some of you finished one chapter recently and thought that was the whole story, when really it was just the very first stepping stone towards something so much bigger you can't even see the shape of it yet. And listen, even with the storm rolling in, even with all this uncertainty in the air, there is the truth the architect wants you to hold onto. You can see past the dark clouds. You already know the light is there, even when you can't see it directly. That's not blind hope, that's something deeper than hope. That is a kind of knowing that lives underneath your fear, underneath your doubt, underneath every what if this doesn't work out thought running on a loop in your head. You have been through hard things, dense things, heavy, difficult situations, maybe a relationship, maybe a loss, maybe just a season of your life of life that nearly broke you. And it's instead of letting it crush you completely, some part of you has been quietly transforming it, turning that hard, dense material into something valuable. That's not a coincidence either. That's all alchemy happening in real time, whether you have noticed it or not. You are going to start noticing things shift in how clearly you see situations and people. Don't be surprised if you start having unusually vivid dreams over the next few weeks, or sudden flashes of knowing about something before it happens, or this strange quiet certainty about a decision that you can't fully explain with logic. Trust those moments. Don't talk yourself out of them just because you cannot draw a straight line to prove they are real. You are being shown things on purpose right now. And the architect wants you to actually use that information instead of dismissing it the way you might have in the past. Now, I also have to be honest with you about something, because the architect isn't interested in only telling you the comfortable parts. There has been someone, or maybe more than one someone, who you have been looking to as if they had all the answers, as if their opinion of your life mattered more than your own. And I think you are starting to realize, even if it's uncomfortable to admit, that you have been giving away your own authority. Yeah, you have been trusting someone else's read on your life over your own gut feeling. And it's time to take that back. There has also been someone in your life who offers just enough help to keep you hooked, and then pulls back right when you need them most. A little bit of support followed by a wall of distance over and over. That push and pull has cost you more peace than you have probably let yourself admit. You are allowed to stop chasing consistency from people who were never going to give it to you. There is also this quiet illusion that you have put a ceiling on your own potential. Like somewhere along the way you decided, consciously or not, that you could only go so far, that some level of success or peace or recognition just wasn't available to someone like you. I want to gently tell you that ceiling was never real. It was constructed just like everything else we've talked about today. And it's time to stop living underneath something that was never actually Lord-bearing. Gently. I also want to mention, and this might sound oddly specific, but stick with me. There might be a place, a city, a particular stretch of time, or even a recurring dream that's been showing up for you lately that feels heavier than it should. Like something keeps pulling your attention back to it, even though you can't explain why. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to your dreams in general right now, more than you usually would. Somebody, somewhere, may have convinced you that your circumstances are more permanent and more impossible to escape than they actually are. Somebody has made it feel like it's always raining on you, specifically like on you specifically, like you are the one person who cannot catch a break. I need you to hear this clearly. That person, whoever they are, doesn't have the power over your life that you have been giving them in your head. They never did. Now, here is something that might surprise you. You might be carrying a low hum of worry about something right now. Some specific situation that's been sitting on your chest, and I want you to notice you are actually handling it better than you think you are. You are not falling apart under the pressure that the way you expected to. You are holding your ground even with everything coming at you. There is real security and real forward momentum already underneath your feet, even if it doesn't feel that way some mornings. Part of what's been making this harder than it needs to be is that there is somebody in the picture right now who you don't fully trust, somebody who feels like they are holding something back from you. And the fear underneath that is the worry that you are going to get tricked, that you are going to be made a fool of. But that's not where this is heading. No matter how loud the thunder gets, no matter how many warning signs flash across the sky, you are going to end up seeing exactly what you need to see, exactly when you need to see it. What actually matters here isn't figuring out where the other person stands. But what matters is that you already know where you stand. You are sure of your own position, even when everything else feels uncertain, and that certainty is your anchor. Here is something you might not be expecting, though. So let me say it gently again. Something in your life is about to take off. Some project, some opportunity, some next move you've been working toward, and it probably will take off. But there is a chance you have been placing more weight on it than it actually deserves in the bigger picture of your life. It's easy to let one goal become the entire center of your world, to convince yourself that this one thing is what will finally unlock everything. The self-respect, the peace, the sense that you have made it. But that's the cobweb talking, not the real web. The real growth isn't sitting inside that one outcome. It's bigger than that. And it's been quietly happening around this whole time, whether that one thing works out perfectly or not. So here is where I want to bring this all the way home for you, because this is the part that matters most. You get to decide what's actually significant to you. You get to decide what's worth your energy, your precious energy, and what's just noise dressed up as importance. Most people never stop to ask themselves that question. They just keep waving the same tired cobweb their whole lives and mistake it for something sacred simply because it's familiar, simply because they have never seen the difference up close. You're not most people. Not anymore. Not after today. You are stepping into a level of clarity and authority you haven't fully claimed yet. You've already grown beyond a lot of the smaller concerns that used to consume you. You just haven't fully given yourself credit for it. There is an illusion trying to convince you that you are still a beginner, still figuring it out, still not quite qualified to claim what's yours. I want to name that directly. That feeling has a name, and it's imposter syndrome. Plain and simple. It's the quiet voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" Right when you're closest to stepping into something real. And I need you to understand that voice is not telling you the truth. It's an old recording left behind by people who were managing their own insecurity by making you feel small. The people you've been comparing yourself to, the ones who seem so sure of themselves, so far ahead. A lot of them are running their own version of this same fear. They are just better at hiding it. So stop measuring yourself against people who are just as lost as you, dressed up better. There is also some healing still happening from past relationships or situations where you were around someone emotionally shut down, someone who couldn't meet you with real warmth, maybe someone who has even a little manipulative or careless with your feelings without even fully owning it, ever fully owning it. If that's resonating with you right now, I want you to know that experience wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of where that other person was capable of meeting you, which is a completely different thing. When the truth of situation like that finally becomes clear, it can be painful. Sure, painful, because realizing you were misled hurts. But that pain is the last piece of the storm passing through, not a sign that something is wrong with you. I want you to think just for a second about who first made you feel like you were not enough. Where did that voice come from originally? You don't have to dig up the whole story right now. You don't have to relive it in detail. Just notice it, name it, and then let it go. The way you'd let just dust finally get swept off something you forgot you were even still holding onto. Enough time has passed. You are allowed to set it down now. What's coming next for you involves a real decision. And I don't mean a small surface level choice. I mean a decision about which version of your life, you're actually going to build going forward. And you need space for that. And who gets to be close enough to be part of it? Who you give time to, who you give your heart to, who you create your life alongside, that's not a small thing. And it deserves more attention than you have probably been giving it. This next stretch of time is asking you to get honest about what's actually feeding your creativity, your energy, your sense of self, and what's quietly draining it without you noticing. You see further than most people around you. And I don't say that to flatter you. I say it because it's true and because it's probably made you feel a little isolated at times. Like nobody else quite gets what you're seeing. Most people only see and hear what they already expect to see and hear. You are being asked to open up a completely new chapter, a new direction for your life. And that requires protecting it alive, a little fiercely, at least at first. Protect it from old influences, protect it from people who have tried to control the narrative of who you are, protect it from anyone whose first instinct is to judge instead of understand. And you don't need to fight the storm or explain yourself to it. You just need to see things clearly for what they actually are. And that clarity alone is what keeps the chaos from getting a grip on you. So here is where I leave you, because I think you already know what this is asking of you. It's time to stop waiting for permission. It's time to stop handing your authority over to people who were never going to use it as carefully as you would. It's time to claim what's actually yours, your voice, your direction, your version of a life that finally feels like it belongs to you instead of something you inherited from anyone else's expectations. It's time. This message found you today because the timing was exact, because the architect doesn't miss, and because some part of you was finally ready to hear it, even if another part of you is still a little scared. That's okay. You can be scared and still move forward. You can be unsure and still take the next step. Whatever it is you've been quietly building toward this whole time, you can do it. Not someday. Not when you finally feel ready, because nobody ever fully feels ready. Now, today. While the storm is still rolling in and the light is still breaking through the clouds behind it, you already know which one you are choosing. So go build it.